Hello my friend and welcome. My name is Tim Beachum and this is my video on creating killer content on demand. I'm going to show you how I'm able to continuously create killer content time after time no matter what the niche market is. I always keep my ear to the ground because I love hearing all the latest SEO gossip that's out there. I was shocked to find out how many people go out of their way to avoid creating content for their site. I'm still not sure if they do this because they are lazy or they felt that their writing abilities may not be up to par. There are people who spend hundreds of dollars on software that is supposed to automate the content creating process. After a few months have gone by, they wonder why they still are not generating the revenue or the traffic that they desire. Am I saying that content creating software is bad? No, I am not. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I'm simply saying that I would not use a shovel to eat a bowl of cereal. I think that's a little overkill. Content creating software is nothing more than a tool, and every tool has its place. If you are one of those people who has invested in article writing software, you can still use it with extreme caution to drive traffic and build backlinks. The method I'm going to share with you in this video is what I call the 2-4-2 method. I'm going to take this a little further and not just give you my beliefs and theory on the subject matter. I'm going to actually show you the technique in action. If you follow the information that I'm going to share with you in this video, you will never have a problem creating content ever again. In fact, I will even go as far to say that you will forever put an end to having writer's block. There are many courses out there who charge big bucks just to share some outdated tips and strategies to help you get rid of writer's block. How do I know this? The answer is very simple. I was once a victim to with some of those snake oil sellers. It wasn't like I set out to discover this strategy. I was simply looking for a way to rid myself from writer's block and to write compelling content that would move people to take whatever action I wanted them to when I wanted them to. As you start utilizing my 2-4-2 technique, it is important for you to keep in mind you have to start to find your own voice. Personally, I prefer the storytelling method of writing because it holds my attention and I find it to be way more effective, especially if I can relate to whatever the writer is talking about. I know I got a little sidetracked. However, I thought it was important to mention that you should find your voice when creating your content. Try to keep it personable, and most importantly, be yourself. It is better to be the best number one you than a second-rate number two someone else. Back to the 2-4-2 method. It is very simple, and here is the breakdown and how you use it. You break your content up into paragraphs, 4 paragraphs, and then another 2 paragraphs. The first 2 paragraphs serve as an introduction. You explain to the reader what it is they are about to learn. The next 4 paragraphs will be used to teach the reader what it is you told them that they would learn in the first 2 paragraphs. So you're just paying up on your promise and you're giving what you promised, and it is best to deliver. The last 2 paragraphs are used to recap all of the things you have just shared in the previous 4 paragraphs. The last paragraph should be used to deliver your call to action. For example, go sign up for my newsletter, join my list, or buy my awesome product. Now let me go over that briefly. I think I messed up somewhere in there, but that's okay. It's fine. I'm not feeling too well, and I just woke up, and the coffee's still boiling in there. In the first 2 paragraphs, you want to tell the individual, hey, look, here's what you're going to get out of this content, and if you're looking for this, you should definitely be reading this article in its entirety. In the next 4 paragraphs, you're going to give the user or the reader what you promised to deliver on. In the last 2 paragraphs, you want to teach them what you already taught them. You're just recapping. Hey, look, I'm sure you found a value in this article, and if you did, hey, do this. Sign up for my newsletter. Give me your email. Give me a call. Whatever it is you want them to do, you tell them. It is one thing for me to sit here and tell you about my technique, but that will not do you any good. Let me show you my strategy in action. As I was putting together this presentation, I was looking around the room trying to think of something that I could write about. I seen my iPad sitting on a cradle, and I decided I could use that as an example. Here's my article on the Apple iPad and how I came about structuring everything. I start off by opening my template, which looks like this. It simply has a title, and I have the words there on the paper. 2 paragraphs, tell them what you're going to teach them. I have a little space in between, 4 paragraphs. Teach them what you told them you would teach them. Then then 2 more paragraphs, or the final paragraphs in closing, tell them what you taught them and give them a call to action. I go down and I simply fill in the blanks. Remember, I told you that I was going to write about the iPad. Well, here is what I came up with. It took me about 10 minutes to put this article together. I started out with the title, Apple iPad Review. The truth may shock the hell out of you. Now, I'm pretty much known for writing controversial headlines that convert extremely well. And it's not that I do utilize some headlines. I collect headlines. Matter of fact, I have hundreds of headlines from other internet marketers, books, newspapers that I thought was good. I write them down. I put them in what I call a swipe file. But anyway, then I tell them what you're going to teach them. And for example, I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but in this article, I'm going to show you under the hood and give you a down-to-earth, no-holds-barred Apple iPad review. I put barred there. By the time you have finished reading this article, you are going to feel one of 2 emotions. Either you're going to totally hate the iPad, or you're going to run out and go buy one right away. Now that paragraph, the only job of that paragraph is to inform them what they're going to get and to encourage them to read on to the second paragraph. It is only fair that I warn you, this is not one of those reviews where I just repeat crap that you can find all over the internet. I actually own an Apple iPad, and I promise you I will pull back the covers and reveal to you the good, the bad, and the ugly. If it was possible for them to come up with some sort of smudge-proof glass, that would have been nice. Speaking of smudge glass, I was shocked that you did not get the little cloth with the iPad. I paid $800, did not get the cloth. Urgh. Now that's to encourage them to read it. Anybody who actually purchased the iPad, that's been one of the common things that's been posted all over the forums and all over review sites. People wonder, why didn't they get that little cloth included in there? Then I went on ahead, I filled out my next 4 paragraphs, which, at first glance, I found the iPad stunningly breathtaking. From all outward appearances, Apple had done it again. They knocked another one out of the park. With childlike anticipation, I was excited as I waited for the unit to turn on. Although it only took a few seconds, it seemed like a lifetime. And I go on and let's go down into the last paragraph, which is the 4th paragraph in this section, which leads into my closing. We were taught to type by placing our fingers on the home row keys. Since the unit has a touch screen, this is not going to happen. You have to let your fingers sort of hover above the keyboard. Very weird, I know. Or at least in my opinion it is. I opted to buy a wireless Bluetooth keyboard, which seems to be working pretty good for me. And I lead into my last 2 paragraphs, and you can see in my closing paragraph, I want to hear from you. Take the time to come join my list and tell me what you think about my blog. I have tons of reviews and tech-related information. Or if you think that my articles suck and I should take a flying leap, come tell me. And then I will put a link there for them to come visit my blog. And believe it or not, I receive a lot of conversion ratio, a lot of people sending me emails telling me, hey, look, dude, I like your articles, I like your style, I like this, I like that. And occasionally I do get one where people tell me to take a flying leap or they thought that my articles suck. It happens. Now I want you to take a look at the full-blown article. It took me about 10 minutes to look up a few things and to get a few general ideas what I was going to touch on. And I mentioned everything leading on down to my call to action. And your article and your content on your blog, if you use this for your blog, you can have a call to action, sign up for here, visit some of my other advertisers, whatever the case may be. But when I write this article, I use it on my blog. I use an article spinner, which we'll talk about in later lessons. I use an article spinner that makes unique content out of each article and allows me to create other pages, like Squidoo pages, submit to article directories, etc., etc. This article will be revised in about 200 or 300 different versions, unique versions of this article will be created and sent out to other blogs and article directories. Well, that is my 2-4-2 method. I hope you like it. I hope it made sense to you. It's the first time I ever publicly went out to share with anyone, and I tried to share it in the fastest amount of time and still get all the content in there. And this is Tim Beachum, and I hope to see you in my next video. And if you have any problems with anatomy and money making, please let me know. I'm here to help you. Take care.